Have you ever stepped out of the shower, looked down at your brush, and wondered, where did all that hair come from? Or maybe you've noticed your once soft, vibrant hair now feels dry, dull, and just not like you anymore. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. And no, it's not just aging. It's the way you've been washing your hair. Today I'm going to share with you the simple, gentle hair washing secrets every woman over 50 deserves to know. This isn't about expensive treatments or chasing youth. It's about honoring the woman you are today and giving your hair the care it's been quietly asking for. Let's get started. Martha stood in front of her bathroom mirror, strands of hair clinging to her brush scattered along the drain and caught on her trembling fingers. She sighed a heavy sigh that spoke of frustration, sadness, and a quiet sense of betrayal. Her hair, once thick and radiant, now seemed thinner, drier, and far less forgiving. It wasn't just hair, it felt like a symbol of time slipping through her hands. If you too have felt this way, know that you are not alone. Many women once past 50 look at their reflection and wonder why their hair no longer responds the way it used to. The truth is, it's not all in your head, nor is it an irreversible sentence written by age alone. Often it's the simplest, most automatic rituals we never question, like the way we wash our hair, that slowly chip away at our hair's vitality. For decades, we've been taught that washing is just about cleanliness. Pour, lather, scrub, rinse, repeat. But at this stage of life, washing your hair is no longer a mundane habit. It becomes a pivotal act of care, an opportunity to nurture your hair's delicate strands, to protect your scalp, and to embrace the evolving beauty that lives within you. Here's the beautiful truth that Martha, and perhaps you might not yet fully believe, it's not too late. Your hair still holds life's softness and strength. But it requires a new approach, one that's gentler, wiser, and more in harmony with the woman you are now. Small, mindful shifts in your routine can awaken a difference not only in your hair's texture and resilience, but in how you feel when you run your fingers through it. It's about reclaiming joy, confidence, and the simple delight of feeling good in your skin and in your hair. And it all begins surprisingly right, where you might least expect it, in the shower. For years, we've been told that aging hair is just part of life's natural course, an inevitable reality we simply have to accept. But what if I told you that while age does play a role, the way we treat our hair, especially how we wash it, can either accelerate these changes or help us reclaim some of that softness, strength, and volume we thought we had lost? One of the most misunderstood aspects of hair care after 50 is how drastically our scalp and strands change. The decline of estrogen, a silent architect of our hair's health, creates a cascade of changes many women never anticipate. With estrogen stepping back, another hormone, DHT, steps forward, shrinking hair follicles, slowing growth, and leaving behind those dreaded thinner strands. But it's not just biology at work. The scalp itself becomes drier, more sensitive, and more reactive to harsh chemicals, heat, and the aggressive washing habits we learned in our 20s. Lena, a vibrant 62-year-old artist from Arizona, used to treat her hair the same way she did at 30, scrubbing vigorously, using the same drugstore shampoo, wrapping her hair in thick towels, and blasting it with hot air. She thought the key to keeping her hair looking fresh was washing it daily. But instead, she found her once luminous waves had turned brittle, frizzy, and thin. It wasn't until she understood how her scalp, her hormones, and her hair were evolving that she realized her old ways were hurting more than helping. This stage of life demands that we shift our perspective. Washing our hair is no longer just about removing dirt. It becomes a crucial ritual to nourish the scalp, protect fragile strands, and create the foundation for healthy, vibrant hair. The scalp needs gentleness, hydration, and mindful care. The hair needs to be handled with tenderness, treated more like silk than rope. It's also the perfect opportunity to reconnect with ourselves in a deeply personal way. When you stand under the warm water, let it be more than just a rinse. It can be a moment of self-compassion, of honoring your body's changes, of embracing the beauty of maturity. Lena discovered that by adjusting her washing routine, choosing the right products, massaging, instead of scrubbing and letting her hair breathe. She didn't just see a change in her hair. She felt it in her spirit. Her hair began to reflect the softness and strength she felt inside. It's never too late to transform your routine and rediscover the relationship you have with your hair. Because caring for your hair after 50 isn't just about appearance, it's about nurturing your confidence, your femininity, and your evolving story as a woman who refuses to fade quietly. When it comes to washing your hair after 50, many women are surprised to learn that the steps they took for granted in their younger years might now be working against them. It's not just about switching products. It's about transforming your entire approach to become gentler, more nurturing, and more in tune with the delicate balance of your maturing hair and scalp. Meet Carol, a 67-year-old retired teacher from Vermont. For decades, Carol stuck to the same hair routine: hot water, lots of shampoo, and a rough towel dry. She believed the only way to get that clean feeling was to scrub hard and often. But over time, she found her hair becoming limp, her scalp itchy, and her once radiant strands lifeless. Her hairbrush was constantly filled with breakage she couldn't explain. It wasn't until she discovered the gentle 7-step method that everything changed for Carol, and it can for you too. It all starts with choosing the right shampoo. Then came the water temperature. Instead of scalding hot showers, Carol began using lukewarm water to cleanse and finished with a cool rinse to lock in moisture and add natural shine. She learned to treat her shampoo like a delicate lotion, lathering it in her hands first, before applying it to her scalp, only not the ends. This protected her fragile strands from unnecessary stripping. Most importantly, Carol shifted from harsh scrubbing to a tender circular massage with her fingertips, not her nails. She found that this gentle massage not only cleansed her scalp but also boosted circulation, leaving her feeling relaxed and surprisingly connected to her own body. Rinsing thoroughly became a mindful ritual instead of a rushed habit, making sure no residue lingered to weigh down her hair. Conditioner was applied only to the mid-lengths and ends. Perhaps the biggest change came in the drying process. Carol swapped her thick towel for a soft microfiber one, carefully blotting and squeezing water out without twisting. She let her hair air dry when possible, and when she did use a blow dryer, it was always on a low setting with a heat protectant mist, treating her hair with the same tenderness she'd show fine silk. These 7 simple steps practiced consistently turned hair washing from a chore into an act of self-love. Carol now describes her hair as feeling softer, fuller, and more alive, not because she chased after youth, but because she embraced her hair's new needs with compassion and care. This isn't just about looking better, it's about feeling better. It's about honoring the wisdom of your body and giving your hair the nurturing attention it deserves at this beautiful stage of life. After embracing a gentler washing routine, many women still unknowingly fall into traps that sabotage their hair's health without even realizing it. It's not the products themselves, it's the little habits, the small oversights, and the rush of old routines that are often to blame. These tiny, repeated mistakes can quietly erode the strength and vibrancy of your hair over time. Let's talk about Linda, a 62-year-old grandmother from Texas. Linda always thought she was doing everything right, washing her hair daily to keep it fresh, using her favorite floral shampoo, and finishing off by wrapping her hair tightly in her beloved terry cloth towel. But she couldn't understand why her hair felt drier than ever, why it tangled so easily, or why she saw so many strands on her pillow every morning. It wasn't until Linda learned about the most common washing mistakes that she saw the missing pieces. One of the biggest mistakes: washing too often. Linda learned that after 50, the scalp produces less oil. She realized her daily washing routine was stripping away the little natural moisture her scalp still had, making her hair brittle and dry. She switched to washing just 2 to 3 times a week, and noticed a dramatic difference in how soft and balanced her scalp felt. Another mistake was using water that was way too hot. Linda always loved the comfort of a steaming shower, but that heat was lifting her hair's cuticle too aggressively, leading to frizz and dullness. She adjusted to lukewarm water, followed by a cool rinse, and her hair responded with more shine and less frizz. Linda also admitted to scrubbing her scalp with her nails, thinking it helped cleanse deeper. In truth, this was damaging her sensitive scalp and loosening fragile hairs. She replaced this habit with soft fingertip massages, turning what used to be a harsh ritual into a calming act of self-kindness. She also learned to never apply conditioner to her scalp. Conditioner meant for the hair shaft was suffocating her roots, weighing her hair down and clogging her scalp. By focusing conditioner only on the mid-lengths and ends, Linda noticed her hair became lighter, bouncier, and much easier to manage. And let's not forget the old towel trick. Linda's thick towel and aggressive rubbing were breaking her strands while wet, the most vulnerable state for any hair. She replaced it with a soft t-shirt, gently blotting instead of rubbing, and she began to see less breakage and more smoothness. The beauty of these lessons is that they require no expensive products or salon treatments, just a shift in awareness. Linda calls these her little acts of wisdom, the ways she now honors her hair and body instead of fighting against them. She says, "It's not about perfection, it's about progress, patience, and learning to love your hair exactly as it is today. Mistakes are part of every journey, but recognizing them is where transformation begins." For women over 50, it's not about doing more. It's about doing things differently, with care, with respect, and with the quiet power that comes from experience. Once Linda adjusted her habits, she realized that the products she'd been loyal to for decades were no longer serving her. What worked beautifully when she was 35 had become harsh and drying now that she was in her 60s. The truth is, after 50, your hair's needs evolve just as you do. And choosing the right shampoo and conditioner becomes less about what's popular and more about what truly nurtures your aging hair and scalp. The first step in Linda's transformation was letting go of her old shampoo. She had been using the same brand for 20 years, one loaded with sulfates and artificial fragrances. It left her hair squeaky clean, but also brittle, stripped of moisture, and prone to breakage. When she learned about the importance of gentle sulfate-free formulas, rich in nourishing ingredients like aloe vera biotin and chamomile, she made the switch. Almost immediately, her hair began to feel softer, more pliable, and far less frizzy. Choosing the right conditioner was equally eye-opening for her. Linda used to slather on heavy, silicone-packed formulas, thinking they would give her silky hair. But instead, they weighed down her fine, thinning strands, leaving them limp and lifeless by midday. She discovered that what she truly needed was a lightweight, hydrating conditioner enriched with jojoba or argan oil, something that added moisture without suffocating her scalp or flattening her hair's natural body. Linda also learned to read ingredient lists, like a love letter to her scalp. She looked for products designed for aging, menopausal, or thinning hair, ones that worked with her hair's delicate texture instead of fighting against it. And when she found a gentle purple-tinted shampoo to use once a week, it helped her silver strands shine with brightness instead of looking dull or yellowed. One of Linda's favorite new rituals is applying a small amount of conditioner, only from mid-length to ends, allowing it to sit for a few minutes, while she takes a moment to breathe deeply and enjoy the process. She finishes with a cool rinse that seals the cuticle and locks in hydration, turning an everyday routine into a self-care ritual that reminds her she is worthy of tenderness. Now Linda smiles when she catches her reflection. Her hair feels softer, looks fuller, and reflects the vibrant, radiant woman she feels inside. She says, "I finally realized it's not about holding on to old products or old routines. It's about embracing what works for me now, what makes me feel alive, beautiful, and true to the woman I am today." For every woman over 50, the message is clear. It's not about expensive brands or celebrity trends. It's about choosing products that respect where you are now, that nurture your hair's natural evolution, and that make you feel cared for, understood, and seen. When you do that, your hair becomes more than just strands. It becomes a reflection of your wisdom, your beauty, and your joy for living. For decades, many women like Carol believed that washing their hair daily was the gold standard of good hygiene. It was a habit rooted in a different stage of life, where oilier scalps demanded more frequent cleansing. But what served us well in our 20s and 30s can quietly become the very thing sabotaging the health of our hair after 50. The truth is, as our bodies evolve, so must our routines. And when it comes to washing frequency, less can truly be more. After menopause, our scalps naturally produce less oil. The once greasy strands that needed daily shampooing now feel drier, more delicate, and more vulnerable to breakage. For women like Carol, who noticed her hair feeling brittle and her scalp becoming itchy, the shift to washing just 2 or 3 times a week was transformative. She worried at first that skipping daily washes would make her hair look flat or unclean. But she quickly discovered that giving her scalp time to rebalance its oils actually led to healthier, shinier strands. Beyond frequency, the timing of washing also plays a role in protecting aging hair. Carol, like many, used to wash her hair late at night, falling into bed with damp strands bundled into a towel or ponytail. She never realized that sleeping on wet hair could create the perfect storm for damage, friction, tangling, even fungal buildup. Now she makes it a point to wash her hair in the morning, allowing it to air dry gently. Or, if she must wash at night, she ensures it's fully dry before her head meets the pillow. Listening to your body and your hair is the ultimate guide at this stage of life. On days when Carol feels exhausted or stressed, she gives herself permission to skip a wash, knowing that her hair, like the rest of her body, needs space to rest and recover. She's learned that it's not about rigid rules or arbitrary routines. It's about honoring the signals her scalp gives her. If it feels balanced, she waits. If it feels dry at the ends, she conditions. And when her hair feels dull, she might opt for a refreshing rinse with cool water or a nourishing hair mask instead of a full shampoo cycle. This flexible, intuitive approach to washing isn't just gentler on your hair, it's kinder to your spirit. It invites you to slow down, to trust your body's wisdom, and to create a hair care rhythm that feels nurturing, not demanding. For women over 50, this is more than a cosmetic change. It's a mindset shift from doing to being, from control to care. And Carol, she says she's never felt more in tune with herself. When I stopped fighting my hair and started listening to it, I felt more beautiful. Not because of how I looked, but because of how I felt inside, free, at ease, like I finally made peace with the woman in the mirror. And isn't that what this stage of life is really about? Less chasing, more embracing, less forcing, more flowing, and washing your hair with love, not fear. For women like Donna, who had spent a lifetime focusing on styling products, heat tools, and color treatments, the concept of scalp massage seemed almost trivial at first, something reserved for spa days, not part of an everyday routine. But as she began to learn more about how hair health after 50 starts at the scalp, she discovered that these gentle, mindful moments of self-touch were more than just relaxing, they were essential. Scalp massage is a practice as old as beauty itself, yet it is often overlooked in modern hair care. For women experiencing hair thinning, shedding, or simply a loss of vitality, this simple act of care can be a game changer. After 50, our blood circulation to the scalp slows down naturally, and our hair follicles need all the help they can get to remain stimulated and nourished. By incorporating scalp massage into her washing routine, Donna found not only a way to encourage hair growth, but also to reconnect with her body in an intimate, nurturing way. She would begin by applying a few drops of warm rosemary or coconut oil to her fingertips. The warmth of the oil soothed her scalp instantly, while the gentle aroma turned the act into a sensory ritual. Using the pads of her fingers, not her nails, she would slowly trace small, circular motions from her hairline to the crown, then to the back of her head. The key was not to scrub, but to move with intention and tenderness, allowing her touch to wake up sleepy follicles and melt away the tension that gathered in her temples and neck. Donna often described these 5 minutes as her sacred pause in the day, a moment where she wasn't rushing through a checklist, but honoring the woman she was now. Sometimes, she would use a soft silicone scalp brush, especially on days when her hands were tired, letting the tool mimic her fingertips while lifting away buildup and gently exfoliating her scalp. But the benefits extended beyond the physical. With every stroke, Donna felt herself releasing more than dead skin cells. She was letting go of outdated beliefs about beauty, about perfection, about needing to fix herself. She realized that the very act of massaging her scalp was a declaration of self-love. It reminded her that beauty isn't in rushing to look younger, but in pausing long enough to cherish who you are today. She noticed over time that not only did her scalp feel healthier and less itchy, but she was shedding less hair in the shower and feeling more at peace in her skin. The act of scalp massage had become her daily meditation, a grounding ritual that helped her start and end her days feeling connected to her body and her worth. For women over 50, scalp massage is not just about stimulating hair growth. It's about stimulating joy, calm, and the belief that you are still worthy of care. It's a small, tender habit that can ripple into every area of your life, bringing softness where once there was struggle and reminding you that even in the quietest gestures you are choosing yourself. For Ellen, stepping out of the shower used to feel like a relief, but what followed often left her hair feeling more like a battlefield than a crown. She would wrap her hair tightly in a thick towel, give it a few aggressive rubs, and quickly pull through it with a standard brush, hoping to be done as fast as possible. But after 50, she realized this rushed, rough handling was doing more harm than good. She noticed more breakage, more shedding, and more frustration when she saw her reflection. What Ellen didn't know then, but learned later, is that the moments right after washing are critical. Your hair is at its most fragile when wet. The hair shaft, softened by water, becomes more elastic, but also more prone to stretching and snapping. Especially as we age and our hair naturally becomes finer and more porous, these small moments post-shower can make the difference between preserving healthy strands or unknowingly causing damage. She learned to swap her old terry cloth towel for a soft microfiber towel, or even an old cotton t-shirt. Instead of rubbing or twisting, she would gently blot and squeeze sections of her hair, pressing the water out with kindness and patience. The texture of the fabric mattered, but more than that, the shift in attitude, one of gentleness instead of force, brought an unexpected grace to her routine. When it came to detangling, Ellen embraced a new rule: always use a wide-tooth comb and never rush. She would start from the ends, holding sections near the roots to avoid pulling on her scalp, and work her way up carefully. She even began adding a lightweight leave-in conditioner or detangling spray while her hair was still damp, noticing how much smoother and more enjoyable the process became. Heat, too, became something she approached with mindfulness. Instead of blasting her hair with high heat, she allowed it to air dry to at least 80% before reaching for the blow dryer. And even then, she would use a cool or low heat setting, always protecting her strands with a heat protectant spray. Ellen realized that she didn't have to give up styling. She just had to do it smarter with tools and habits that respected her hair's new needs. Perhaps the most beautiful change came at night. Ellen treated herself to the softness of a satin pillowcase, a small luxury that reduced friction and left her waking up with less frizz and fewer tangles. On nights when she felt especially tender toward herself, she would loosely braid her hair or tie it in a soft silk scrunchie, small, nurturing gestures that made her feel like she was tucking herself in with love. Post-wash care is not just about protecting your hair. It's about protecting your peace, your confidence, and your relationship with yourself. It's about recognizing that how you treat your hair in these quiet moments reflects how you treat yourself in the bigger picture of your life. Ellen's once rushed routine became her ritual of care, a daily reminder that she deserved softness, ease, and attention at every stage of her life. As we come to the close of this journey, it's important to remember that Caring for your hair after 50 is about so much more than strands products or routines. It's about how you choose to honor yourself in this new, beautiful chapter of life. Every gentle touch, every mindful wash, every nurturing step is a statement not of vanity, but of self-respect and grace. What women like Ellen Margaret and countless others have discovered is that hair care at this stage is an act of connection, not correction. It's not about fighting time or chasing a younger version of yourself. It's about embracing your evolving beauty, understanding the natural shifts your body goes through and responding with softness instead of frustration. It's about giving yourself the patience, the tenderness, and the space to feel beautiful in your own skin and in your own hair. When you let go of old habits that no longer serve you, like harsh washing, aggressive brushing, or outdated styles, you create space for a new kind of beauty to emerge. One that reflects your wisdom, your vibrancy, and your individuality. One that speaks not of age, but of spirit. So the next time you step into the shower, remember, it's not just about cleaning your hair. It's about stepping into a ritual of care, a quiet celebration of the woman you are today. Let the water refresh more than just your scalp. Let it refresh your sense of self-worth. Let each gentle touch remind you that you are worthy of care, of softness, of time that's just for you. Because your hair isn't just hair. It's part of your story, your energy, your radiance. And that radiance doesn't fade with the years, it deepens. It evolves, it shines in new ways. You don't need to fight age, you need to honor the woman you've become. And when you do that, from the way you wash your hair to the way you see yourself in the mirror, you'll realize that the most beautiful thing about you was never just your hair. It's the way you carry yourself with ease, confidence, and undeniable grace. The best is still unfolding, and you deserve to feel beautiful in every strand of it. Thank you for spending these few precious moments with me today. I hope what we shared helps you see your hair and yourself in a softer, kinder light. If this video touched your heart or gave you a new perspective, I'd love for you to join our community by subscribing. And tell me in the comments, what's one small change you're ready to make for your hair after 50? I read every message because this is more than a channel. It's a place where women like us can lift each other up, share wisdom, and keep growing together. And if you have a dear friend who needs to hear this message, don't forget to share it with her too. Remember, your beauty doesn't fade, it evolves, and the best is still to come.